Hello, everybody, and welcome back once again to a very exciting review for another movie. Today, we're looking at Insidious the Last Key, released in 2018. We're taking a look at the main character and protagonist, Elise, as she teams up with her friends Specs and, Tucker, I think it is. At least that's what I think I wrote down. But anyways, those are two sidekicks that follow her. So, this movie I wanted to talk about is this just still more of the same, or is this something refreshing and new to bring to the whole series, the Insidious series? Because now we're on our fourth installment of the movies. So this is again starring Lin Shaye as Elise. And we're following her as she was just a young girl, a young teenage girl. So her and her brother are living together with her mother and father. And her father is like some kind of parole officer kind of guy. He seems very reserved and very kind of closed off and kind of mean, in fact, in many ways. And the mother seems very loving, trying to be understanding, especially to Lise and her gifts, because it seems she already has the clairvoyance and she's able to kind of see into the future for some people and understand the kind of pains and struggles that they're going through. So, in the timeline of it all, we are at the events that are actually, so first we see the past tense, and then it jets forward to where we have now older Elise, where she is kind of very scared to take on any new work, because I think she's just kind of done with it all. But she receives a phone call about a gentleman who's now living in the house that she lived in when she was younger, right? So the one that we saw at the beginning of the movie. So this is where the movie kind of sets the stage and kind of heads off from there. I want to talk about basically how you're not going to find a ton of scariness in this film because, although very creepy elements, and there are a few jump scares here and there always is, especially with children and demonic possession and all that stuff. It's always really a scary thing, but you're not going to get a ton of scares. It's more of like this kind of mystery kind of thriller with a bunch of little paranormal stuff going on the side, which is still pretty cool. And I do feel that this movie did bring some kind of cool aspects and some twists that we weren't expecting. So instead of it just being the standard formula about her going into the other side and then trying to save somebody, this one had some other things going on that we just couldn't totally foresee, and we had to watch it unfold as the movie went along. So this movie currently has a 5.7 out of 10 on IMDb. Again, I kind of like to just see where people are at on the movie overall, which is why I decided to watch it, because anything over a 5 on IMDb I feel is definitely worth watching. 5.7 seemed a bit low for this sort of movie, especially in the Insidious series. But the things you're going to enjoy, number one is the character Elise herself. Lin Shaye, who plays the role, she does a very good job. She's very convincing. You kind of you're rooting for her. You want her to do good, and you want to see things work out for her, especially in this movie, as we get to see how she was kind of tortured as a young girl because of her gifts, and her father just didn't believe in them and thought she was just loony and whatever, and he would actually beat her because of it. So that's not cool. So we're kind of rooting for Elise and hoping she finds the courage and strength to find her way. Number two, I have the background story and then just basically her abilities. I said it, the way they put it together, the way they formed it up, kind of seeing that old time background, the old house she used to live in, and then bringing it back again once we jet into the future, where most of the bulk of the story takes place, and it'll play off those events that went down in that house, the things that we saw earlier in the movie. They play off of that as we move throughout. She has flashbacks, and everything starts to make a lot of sense. So that's kind of cool. It's that mystery that's unwinding as we move along. Number three, I have the villainous twist, and that you're just not fully going to expect. So there's certain entities or whatever that you're like, okay, I get that. That's probably going to be a problem. But there's other hidden ones that are not expected, and I think that is awesome. I'm going to leave it at that. Hopefully you guys can get a chance to see it. If you did see the movie, please comment, and if you were caught off guard for what went down, because I totally was. I wasn't ready for it, and I think that's why I enjoyed the movie, and I'm going to give it a little bit higher score than a lot of those on IMDb. So, things you're going to want more of, I think, are just the scariness, just being on the edge of your seat. I mean, there were definitely some scenes where you are on the edge of your seat or whatever, but I think that some of the other ones, especially in I'll just say 1, 2, and 3, that really kept that tension going. Again, this one does keep the tension, but just not as constant as you would have hoped for versus the other movies. Number 2 is the ending conclusion to the villain, which I believe was somewhat predictable, and I felt myself wanting more. So by the time Elise does have the chance to work on the main villain, I don't know. It was kind of a combination of some different things, like I said, because you didn't fully see it coming. But when it is finally all said and done, it was kind of like, oh, well, I expected a little bit more excitement going on to make it all real cool. So I guess that's what I took it down some points for because of that. The awesome scenes where she's working against the enemies, that's always fun to watch. So overall score, I gave this a 6.2 out of 10, which I think is pretty respectable. So that's about, 0.5, 0.7 over what IMDb gave. But I think the Insidious series is starting to kind of close up to an end because it's mostly all been done, especially other movies that are kind of hitting off the similar features of the Insidious type of movies. It's definitely worth watching at least once, especially if you've enjoyed the other movies and you enjoy the kind of paranormal thriller, kind of the mystery unsolving, and if you like Lin Shaye and like all the different roles that she's played in similar movies and also in this series. So again, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Again, as always, make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. We're going to keep bringing more video reviews for you for different movies as we move through 2018, even some older flicks. One of the next ones I want to show you is actually some, I call them B-rated or B-grade, I guess, movies that are kind of like zombie-ish or like plague-ish or whatever, but ended up being very, very good overall. I just don't think they weren't those blockbuster ones that make it to the full theater and have the huge debut. So hopefully you'll get a chance to see those. Make sure to join our channel and watch our Dead Nightmare series that's on there. Plus we have other reviews for other movies that have come out. We just released our solo Star Wars story review. We talked about Deadpool 2 and a slew of others. So I'm Mike Schilling and this is the Z-Man Show, and we'll catch you at the next review. See ya.